There we go. So, welcome. I was just thinking this morning, actually, that everybody's been talking about 5 years since COVID, but it's actually 5 years since I started the online class, which in many ways has given great accessibility for those of us with ME, chronic fatigue, long COVID, where we haven't been well enough to actually get to a physical building, or we've had relapses. So it has kind of, there have been good things about lockdown and COVID, because it has created this wonderful community of yoga where hopefully we can boost our health and feel connected and just enjoy some yoga. So, a couple of things before we start. Firstly, I'm suggesting that you come to lying. Usually I say sitting because we do our breath work, but actually we're going to start from lying this morning. If you like, of course, you can remain sitting as well. That's fine as well. So the choice of how you want to be is up to you. And then the two things that I always say when we start our class, which is, remember, you don't need to keep looking at the screen if you don't want to. I'm always aware that we look too much at screens and it's not always good. So if you want, you can just listen to my voice, which I hope will be enough guidance. And the second thing is to only do what feels right for you. So we're not going to do very much movement today, but at any time, if anything doesn't feel right, particularly we're going to go through joint freeing movements. So if anything hurts or feels painful, please rest out. It's always more important that you listen to yourself rather than to me, because one of the purposes of these sessions is to help you to get more autonomy and to feel more confident about your own voice and about what you decide, not just on the mat, but off the mat, so you get a sense of yourself. So with that said, just start by coming into a comfortable lying position and have maybe something under your head to support your neck. And if you've got any back issues, have something under your knees. And take a moment or two to think about your position. So just feel that you're coming into your body and making that kind connection with your physical self. And take a moment to explore, what does my body feel like? And then with this exploration, try to make it non-judgmental. So although you're being curious about how does my body feel, you're not labeling anything as good or bad. It's just like an exploration. So it can be helpful to feel the weight of your head on your support. Feel the connection with your back. Be aware of how your clothes feel, any textures. And then I'm just going to read out a few notes I made around the concept of space before we go on further. So the word space is quite important in yoga, and it's from the word Akasha, which is from Chittakash, and it means the divine mystery, actually, interestingly enough. So this refers to space within us and without. So I think we all know that if we're talking about ourselves physically and mentally, that our thoughts can get very tight and obsessive, particularly around events that might be happening. But the problem is, when that happens, we can't see clearly and we can't relax. So within our own bodies, we have a physical, energetic, mental realm, emotional realm, and also a higher body. So in yoga, we talk about this being the Panchamaya or the Panchamaya kosha. These are our different layers. So what we're looking at today is creating space within these different layers within ourselves. Because for health, we need space so that prana, or life force energy, can move. However, if there is drama that we create in our minds, and I give examples like focusing too much on our symptoms, this can make our whole system very tight. I mean, even things like chasing cures or talking about our health problems can create more chaos within our system. So what we're doing this morning is trying to create space so that everything can relax. And we see this externally in the world. There's kind of chaos going on, and then this can be reflected in us internally. So everything moves too fast, or is angry, or we have too many reactions. So we want to think of being on an eagle's perch, where we're just looking at ourselves, we're slightly zooming out. So just start now by thinking about how you're feeling emotionally, mentally, and physically. And see if you are able to zoom out from this. And at the moment, you might find that tricky. We're going to do it again as the practice progresses. But start with your thoughts and see if you can observe the space between the thoughts. So whenever you feel that you've gone into kind of like a whirl of thinking, the monkey mind, just see if you can observe the space between the thoughts. And now bring your awareness to your breath. And without altering anything, just for a moment or two, watch your breathing. And now, if it's okay for you, just begin to let the breath slow down without forcing anything. If you're able to, start to breathe through the nose, but if that's too much, that's fine not to. Just something to aim for. And now we're going to observe a very slight pause after the in-breath and a slightly longer pause after the out-breath. Again, this is just something to aim for. If you find this hard, that's okay. Just do what feels right. So we're beginning to slow the breath down, observing the pause after the in-breath, slightly longer pause after the out-breath, breathing through the nose if you can. And then if you like, you can place one hand on your heart, one on the belly, just to remind you to breathe into the belly. Thinking of the breath being slow and low. And then see if you can bring all your awareness to that pause after the out breath. So you're almost dropping into that quiet space before the in breath naturally arises. And now leaving the breath, think about the body, and you might like to just make some adjustments to create space. So maybe making space between the ears and the shoulders, lengthening the shoulders down a little. Think about the space between the vertebrae. You might like to lift the hips and then slightly extend the lower back down towards the heels. If the back's relaxed enough and your knees are bent, you might like to stretch out the legs and have space between the heels. Think about where your arms are placed and maybe have them away from the body, space under the armpits, with the palms turned up, fingers gently curling, and some space between the fingers. And then observe space in the body. Think about space in the rib cage, the jaw. Think about the space around you. And just be aware that resting and stopping creates space in our daily lives, which we need to unwind this tightness I was talking about at the beginning. So just feel on every exhalation you are releasing down into your support, relaxing more and more on every out breath. And then just take your fingertips and massage around the jaw, because this is often called the tightest joint in the body. And often we hold tension there very unconsciously, we're not aware of it. So just let the jaw soften as you massage. And then just palm the eyes to let the eyes soften. Because again, often we have tension around the eyes without being aware of it. So think of that whole eye area becoming soft. Lower jaw slightly releasing, tongue to the roof of the mouth, but the lips together. And then relax the arms back beside the body or wherever is comfortable. And again, take your awareness to your breath. And then we're going to, I'm going to give you an option. So we're going to do 3 breaths to the belly, 3 breaths to the heart, hands on the heart, and 3 breaths, hands to the eyes. And you can either hum the breath out 3 times to each of those points, or you can do the chant, which is Om Akasha Namaha, which means I give thanks for space. So I'm just, before you actually do that, I'm just going to demonstrate what I mean. So either you take your hands to the belly and for 3 breaths, you hum on the exhalation, or the option is to inhale and Om Akasha Namaha. So your choice, and of course you can just breathe if you would prefer to do that. So in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch, 3 times hands to the belly, 3 times hands to the heart, Anahata chakra, 3 times palm the eyes and chant to the eyes. And then rest the arms beside you so I can just see when you've finished.
And then just a couple of reflective questions. Sorry, some of you still chanting. Just ask yourself the question, what does my system need right now? And can I hold any feeling of anxiety or fear or any of my symptoms with compassion and non-resistance? Can I make space around them? Can I zoom out, step back slightly and just watch myself with compassion, spaciousness, even love? And then when you are ready, we're going to do our joint freeing series. So this is not going to take much movement, but if you feel it's too much for you, you can just visualize, which is just as powerful as actually doing the movement. So please, if it's okay for you, stretch out your legs. And we're going to start with the feet. So bring the feet together. And we're going to, no, actually, sorry, I'm going to change that. We're going to bend the knees and cross one foot or leg over the other. If you're not sure what I mean, you look at the screen. And we're going to slowly circle the ankle of that foot that's on top. And then we're going to circle the ankle the other way. And then relax the foot. And then inhale, bring the toes towards you. Exhale, point the foot away. Inhale to flex the foot, feeling into the ankle. Exhale and point. And just do that a few times in your own breathing rhythm. And then relax that foot back down to the floor with the knees bent. And then we're going to cross the other leg over the top of that leg. And we're going to circle that ankle. So circle one way, then the other.
And then pausing, breathe in, draw the toes in towards you to flex the foot. Exhale and point the toes away. And just do that a few times in your own breathing rhythm. And then rest the foot down so that the knees are bent, heels in line with your buttocks. And as we work through this joint freeing sequence, I just want to say that a lot of prana gets stuck in our joints. They're all points of tension. So just by freeing the joints, we create more space for the energy to flow. So kind of on the physical, scientific level, we're bringing space, we're letting the spinal, all the fluids flow, but also energetically, we are creating space for prana. So let's think about our knee joints now. Now, as I said at the beginning, if anything feels uncomfortable or not right, don't do it, because knees are often an area where it can be sore and tense. But what we are doing again now is moving to free our knees. So just very gently, think about the right leg and then breathe in and lift the right leg. Exhale, bend the knee. So the heel comes towards the buttock. So just doing that a few times, you don't have to make it too dynamic. You can keep it very gentle. But we're just getting some movement into the knee. If you're not sure, you can look at the screen. If at any time you're tired, rest out. Remember the principle of non-violence to self, ahimsa. Rest out if you need to. And then when you're ready, drop that right foot back to your support or to your mat. Become aware of the left leg. And then we're going to do that on the left side. So inhale, lift the left leg, don't make it too strong. Exhale, lower the heel. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Just a few times, always listening to your energy levels, so you're not doing too much. But we're just getting a bit of movement into that knee joint. And then drop the left foot to the mat. And then we're going to take the left knee, then the right knee over the belly, and take one hand to each knee, or if that's not comfortable, just hold below the knees or even under the knees. And now we're going to think about the hips. So what we're going to do is just circle the hips. Now, usually we'd move with the breath, but I think we're not going to worry about that today. So we're going to let the knees come away from us, so the elbows straighten. We open the knees wide, and then we circle the knees back together. If you're not sure, you can look at the screen. We're just circling the hips to create space, Akasha in the hips. Be aware of the lower back being massaged as you're moving. Be aware of creating more flexibility in the hips. And then if you like, you can move your circle in the opposite direction. And then pause with the knees over the belly. And then we're going to do an optional movement, again, to make space in the hips, but with the chant, or you can hum if you prefer. So we're going to breathe in, the knees move away from us, and then we chant these back. Om Akasha Namaha. Breathing in, knees move away from us in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. Om Akasha Namaha. So do that 2 or 3 more times in your own breathing rhythm. And then when you are ready, drop your feet to your support or your mat. And you can either rest there or you can slide out the feet and rest with the knees straight. Have the arms a comfortable distance away from the body with the palms turned up. And just rest in Shavasana, the relaxation posture. And bring your awareness to your lower body. So observe your legs and your feet. And then we have worked with the ankles, the knees, and the hips. So what I'd like you to do now is to take 3 slow mindful breaths, focusing on space in the ankles. Then 3 slow mindful breaths, focusing on space in the knees. And then 3 breaths to the hips. So in your own breathing rhythm, your own time, just bring your awareness and visualize your breath to those 3 points. And then take a moment or two just to observe how you are now. Keeping your awareness in your physical body, noticing your body, the mind, the emotions. And just think about how you can bring more space to your state of being. At all levels, mind, body, emotions, more spaciousness. Less tightness at all layers. Now for the next set of joint freeing movements, it's actually better to come up to sitting. If you are feeling very fatigued and you don't want to do that, then you can remain lying and just visualize what we're doing. But if you're able to, please come up to a comfortable sitting position. So you often hear me talking about how our upper body can get tight if we are running a chronic low-grade stress response, and then that can affect our breathing. So as we move up to our shoulders, we're going to be looking at freeing all of this area here. We're going to start with our wrists. So just make nice circles with the wrists. As we get older, these can get very tight, arthritic even. And of course, if we've got tight shoulders, this can refer down to our elbows and wrists too. And then take that in the opposite direction. So if you remember, this is a really good one to do every day, especially if you are typing or doing any screen work. And then just shake out the hands, shake out the fingers. If we were doing the whole series, we'd be working through the fingers and toes, but we're not going to do that today. And then just rest the hands down. So we're going to do, the next one will be the elbows. Now, this is the most dynamic one that we are doing today, but this has also been the one that I've done a lot. It was given to me by an osteopath, and it actually had huge benefit on my tight shoulders. So it's a very good one to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an L shape with my shoulders. For this, you might like to look at the screen. So elbows come out at shoulder level, palms are up. And then I'm just going to keep the shoulders lifted as I take the fingertips down towards the floor. As I say, this might be too much. So if you're very fatigued, don't do it. Keep those shoulder blades together as you lift. Keep the elbows lifted, because this is working on the elbows, but also the shoulders. We'll just do this a few times. But again, if you're doing lots of screen work, this is one you might like to do when you're out of the class as well. Keep the jaw soft as you move. And then just shake out the arms. And then for our shoulders, our old favorite, but is so beneficial, you can take your fingertips to your shoulders, or you can leave the arms relaxed as you just circle the shoulders. Nice big circles. Really releasing those trapezius muscles. And also opening up the heart, the front of the body. This really does create space. And then relaxing down. You can circle the other way if you like, but I think it's more beneficial to go just backwards. And then we can breathe in with the shoulders towards the ears, exhale through the mouth, and release. And just do that 2 or 3 times in your own breathing rhythm. And then our neck. Now, I could spend a whole hour on the neck, because again, this gets very tight. It's very involved with the stress response, but we can certainly make some good progress today by creating space in the neck. So we're going to start with left ear to left shoulder and center, right ear to right shoulder and center, just a few times. And if you want to hold the neck on one side with the arm over the head, just to stretch out the neck, you can do that if that feels nice. Just releasing any tightness in the neck. Because it's said that when we release tightness in the body, that works all the layers. So it's starting to create space in the mind as well. And then come back to center. Think of the back of the neck being long, chin coming down towards the sternum. And then we're just gently going to look over one shoulder. Come back to center. And then look over the other shoulder, keeping the body facing forward. And then do that, as you do that twice more, you might find that as the neck is beginning to become more fluid, you can look a little bit further. So observe where your gaze goes to. Keep the shoulders forward. And then just sit comfortably with the eyes closed. And this time, keep your awareness in your upper body, observing how you feel. And then we're going to take 3 breaths to the wrists, 3 breaths to the elbows, and 3 breaths to the shoulders, visualizing space in those joints as you focus on that area. And when you finish those breaths, please come down to the mat or sofa or bed for our relaxation. So I'm going to do a deep relaxation, but because I want to finish with a meditation, it's not going to be a yoga nidra, it's going to be an autogenic deep relaxation. So please make yourself comfortable with covers, blankets, cushions, eye masks. And then as I say some words to you going around the body, I just would like you to repeat them silently to yourself. Just allowing yourself to relax deeper and deeper as we go through. So become aware of your right arm. My right arm is warm. My right arm is warm. My right arm is warm. My left arm is warm. My left arm is warm. My left arm is warm. My right leg is warm. My right leg is warm. My right leg is warm. My left leg is warm. My left leg is warm. My left leg is warm. My right arm is heavy. My right arm is heavy. My right arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. Both arms and legs are heavy and warm. Both arms and legs are heavy and warm. Both arms and legs are heavy and warm. My whole body is 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 heavy and warm. My forehead is cool and calm. My forehead is cool and calm. My forehead is cool and calm. My breath is calm and regular. My breath is calm and regular. My breath is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My whole body breathes. My whole body breathes. My whole body breathes. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. My whole body, my whole being is spacious and relaxed. My whole being is spacious and relaxed. My whole being is spacious and relaxed. We're going to go now into our meditation. So you can remain lying if you would like, or you can come up to sitting. Make the choice that's right for you. So just become aware of the out breath and focus on the out breath for a few breaths. And now bring your awareness to the pause, the natural pause after the out breath. Just focusing on the pause after the out breath before the inhale naturally arises. And now leaving the breath, just become aware of stillness and space around you. And although there might be external noises, sounds, or thinking, just notice that the thoughts, the sounds come in and out through a bubble of stillness and silence. And just fix your awareness on that silence. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to that quiet silence, bubble of silence around you. And observe that the silence is also within. That stillness, that presence is internal and external. It's always there between the thoughts. It's always there. Silence and peace. Just when we clear our thoughts, like we clear the clouds, there is the blue sky. There is the silence or the sense of our true self, our presence. And then just bring to your mind's eye a vision of the globe, the world. You might see the world like a beautiful ball of light in your mind's eye, maybe hovering in front of you, maybe just at your third eye. See the beauty of the blue oceans, the green forests. See our world as a brightly coloured, beautiful globe of light. And if you can, see if you can encompass this globe of light with compassion, peace, and love. Maybe you feel that you draw it into your heart. Knowing that love and peace can heal. Knowing that space can lessen any tightness or disruption. And knowing that this sense of divine peace and light, stillness, is always there. Don't feel that you have to try too hard. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to a sense of peace and silence, or to the globe. And now feel this sense of peace, compassion coming back to yourself. Sending this healing to wherever you feel you need it right now in this moment. And now just feeling the connection of our community here, meditating, relaxing. Connection, friendship, love. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to the pause after the out breath. Or focus again on the silence, which is always there in spite of thoughts or emotions. And now bring your awareness back into the body. Become aware of your body and its position, whether you're sitting or lying. And just begin when you're ready to make very slow movements with your fingers and toes. And then making maybe bigger movements if you're lying down, stretching with your arms and your legs. And then rolling to one side, staying there for a moment or two before you come up to a comfortable sitting position. So, as always, after we've done a relaxation or a meditation, don't rush too quickly after the session into anything too vigorous. Take some time to come back to everyday living. So, it's always helpful to rub your hands, palm your eyes, and just look around your space, feeling yourself connect with your space in your room, maybe looking at the objects, the furniture, corners of the room. And just to finish, take one hand to the heart, then the other on top. Close the eyes again and just ask yourself the reflective question, how can I bring more space into my daily life? How can I bring more space into my daily life so that everything is less tight, more loose? And then we're going to finish with our hands on our heart with the chants. And if you don't want to chant, you can hum or breathe. So we'll do this now as call and response. I'll chant to you and you chant back to everybody here. Om Akasha Namaha. Om Akasha Namaha. Om Akasha Namaha. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, bring your hands together to the Namaste Mudra. So the divine in me greets the divine that's in you. It's the meaning of Namaste. Take a bow to your heart. Thank you all very much for being here. And if you're in the UK, I wish you a happy holiday for the rest of the day. And I look forward to seeing you whenever you can make it. And I put on the Facebook group, some of us are having a book club on Thursday at 6:30 UK time. If you're not on the Facebook group and you're interested, please send me an email and I'll give you some more details. So thank you all very much. Lots of love and have a lovely time. Have a lovely week. Bye. Take
Fiona,
care, everybody. Bye.
bye. Fiona,
Yes,
can I ask a quick question?
of course you can.
Um, I've been trying to,
That's Julie. Yeah.
yeah, Julie,
Hi.
um, I'm trying to use your classes on YouTube, but I get adverts, which is not obviously conducive to relaxation. So,
Well,
is there a way?
what I can say is firstly, it's nothing to do with me. I don't get any income and I've got no control over that. And I'm really sorry about that. The only
No,
way
okay,
is that YouTube offer you a subscription for them where you pay a monthly fee to YouTube and then they don't have
right,
adverts. But
yeah,
that's all I can suggest because, as I said, unfortunately, it's nothing to do with me.
no,
I get to they don't charge me or you if I upload the classes. Um, and I know
okay,
some people get the adverts, some don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Louise is saying, have you thought of using DuckDuckGo? Well, I don't know about that because I actually use I use Brave, which is also not collecting data, and I still get adverts. But I think Louise might be right that if you use a different search engine that's not kind of one of the more standardized, where they're not collecting your data, you might
Okay.
find you get fewer adverts. So Louise is
Yeah.
obviously using DuckDuckGo. I use Brave just because probably we don't like them collecting our data so much.
Yeah,
But
I don't
yeah,
understand technology at all. So
but every now and again, YouTube do ask you, do you want to subscribe, and then you're advert free.
yeah.
But as I said,
Okay.
unfortunately, that's got not it's nothing to do with me. They just let me use the
No.
service for free to upload.
Yeah, that's okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Julie.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.